Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and to another video. I hope you're all doing well. So today I'm going to show you how to magnetize the weapons on the new Saturnine Dreadnought. Now I've previously done magnetizing videos for the Contemptor Dreadnought and the Leviathan Dreadnought. If you've not seen those, I'll leave some links up on the screen now so you can take a look. But this one out of all of them is probably the most easiest to do. It's very magnet friendly. Games Workshop have designed the kit with holes already for the magnets, unlike some of the previous Dreadnoughts. So all you need really is some basic modelling skills, some super glue and some magnets. So as per last time we did one of these videos, we'll just have a quick run through of everything that you're going to need. Obviously you're going to need some super glue, a Sharpie or a pencil or something like that, and also a modelling knife or a flat blade or maybe a very thin file or something like that. And in terms of magnets, we need some 3mm by 1mm magnets, and we need some 5mm by 1mm rare earth magnets. Now I got mine from Amazon. They're fairly cheap and them from all sorts of different manufacturers and sellers. This one first for magnets. I've got a lot of my magnets from there before. Really cheap in the UK, and then there's another one here, Magnet Expert. If you just go on Amazon and take a look for rare earth magnets, you should have no problem finding them. So as you can see, my Dreadnought is still in pieces. I just thought I'd leave it unassembled because it'd be easier to show you various things like where the magnets go on the torso and stuff like that. And I've also left the legs and the armor plates off as well. But by all means, you can assemble your Dreadnought pretty much fully, apart from gluing these arm pieces on if you wanted to magnetize them in there. But I've left mine sort of in pieces just so it's easy to show you what we're going to do. So for the Carropus weapons, the magnets you want are 3mm by 1mm magnet. As you can see, I've already done 1/2. Now inside the weapons, there is a 3mm hole, and then there's actually an outer shelf, if you like, that is the perfect space for a 5mm by 1mm magnet. But what I've done is I've glued the 3mm magnet in the deepest recess there and not used the larger one because there's less, well, maybe there's not less surface area, but I just thought it'd be easier to use the deeper hole. And also it would ensure a flush fit because that magnet is pretty flush with the edge of the body there as well. So the way that I did it is I glued the magnet into the Dreadnought first, and then I put the magnet stack onto the glued in magnet once it had dried, put a dot on the end with my pen, and then that is how I knew which side to glue into the weapons. So what I'll do is I'll do it on this side of the Dreadnought because, as you can see, I've not done the weapons yet, just so you can see what I mean. So I'm going to get the magnet stack, I'm going to place it on the Dreadnought, so find the right side, that is on there, so I know that that is the right way around. And then I'm going to quickly just get my pen, a little trusty Sharpie, put a little dot on there, put that down for a second, put my pen away, and then if I break that magnet stack off now, I know that this is the end that needs to go in the weapon. So I'm going to get my super glue, put a little blob of super glue on the end of this magnet, not too much because when you push it into the weapon it is going to splurge out the sides. So then just pick the first one that we're doing, so I'll use this one, and then all I'm going to do is with my dot facing the right way, I'm just going to push that straight into the hole and just hold it in place for a few seconds, let the super glue dry. If you take it away straight away, the power of the magnet will just pull it away from the super glue. So all you need to do is just give it a few seconds. Hopefully this is going to work on the video. As you can probably tell, I've had one go at this already. That's why there was some super glue in the weapon and I didn't leave it long enough. So if I quickly just break it away now, there we go. That's worked. I can put my magnet to one side, and then what I always like to do is get a brush or something non-magnetic and just push that in. Just make sure that that's nice and secure, as flush as it will go, and then hopefully that super glue is going to dry, and then we'll have our magnet ready to go on that side of the Dreadnought. So the reason I haven't done the larger magnet on that shelf is because I just wanted that flush fit, and I don't know how flush it's going to be with that weapon there, but hopefully that should be fine. So then what I'm going to do for the next one is I'm just going to repeat the process again. This ensures that the polarity is right and the weapons are going to be interchangeable. So again, we're going to pop our stack on there. We're going to get our trusty pen, do another dot on the end there, put that back down, pen away, and then again we'll get our super glue, break the magnet stack off, the end with the dot on. We're just going to put a little blob of super glue on, just put that to one side on a tissue, and then we're going to get the weapon again, and then I'm going to switch hands because I'm right-handed. End with the dot from the pen, I'm going to push that nice and secure inside the weapon, giving it a bit of pressure. Hopefully they don't go flying, and then just give it enough time for the super glue to bite. and glue the magnet into place. And that's pretty much it. That's your Carropus weapons done. So like I said, you've just got to be careful when you're working with the magnets. Make sure your polarity is the right way around. That's what the pen's for, really. It just sort of gives you that indicator of which way around they're supposed to go. And then hopefully, if we've done it right, we should be able to pop these on the torso and they won't be repelling each other, and I wouldn't have got it wrong. So hopefully that's given it enough time. Just break that away, put our magnets to one side, nice and safe. Get the brush or whatever else you want to use and just give that a good firm push down. Just make sure that that's nice and flush in there, and then hopefully that is our torso weapons magnetised. So now the test to make sure we've given it enough time to dry. Hopefully when I put this on, this magnet is not going to ping out and attach to that. There we go. That is magnetised, and you can give it a little bit of elevation, and there you go. So that's that one. I'm not going to do that one just yet because that's still drying, but that is how you magnetise the Carropus weapons. Really easy. It is just a case of getting your polarities right, and that is it. So it's time to move on to the actual arm weapons. So then for the weapon arms, this time we're using 5mm by 1mm magnets. I've moved the Carropus weapons and the 3mm magnets out of the way so we don't accidentally connect to something by accident with one of the magnets and everything just goes pinging across the desk, because that has happened to me before when I've been making these videos. So we've got the two main weapon arms and we've got the two elbow pieces. So for the elbow pieces, what I've done is I've marked them up with outer and inner, and then which side it is. So that's the right hand side, and I've also got outer and inner, or inner and outer I should say, and then left hand side for this one as well. Now the reason I've done that is because I want to be able to change which arms I put these weapons on, so move them around. So as long as I get my polarities right, I can move that from the right arm to the left arm and vice versa with the plasma weapon. So what I did first is, I've done this weapon, as you can see, is I glued a magnet into the outer side of this gun. So if that was on the right arm, this would be the outer side. So once that was in there and super glued in and nice and dry, what I did is I got the magnet stack, I put it on there, I got my pen, put a dot on the magnet, and then after that I got my blade, put the blade behind the magnets, lifted them off. See, I've got two there, doesn't really matter. And then what I did is I put it inside the elbow piece. I'll show you with this side so it's easier. Put it inside the elbow piece with some glue on it, and I just pushed down into the hole and held it in place until it was dry. So we're actually going to do that with the plasma weapon because I've not magnetised that one. So I'll just put these magnets back. It's always fun working with magnets because you never know which way the polarities are going to go. So we'll just put that back over there a sec, put everything back. So that arm is done. We've got magnets on either side, outer and inner. So that's the outer side, that's the outer side, and that just sits in nicely like that. So I want to be able to use that on the other side. So it doesn't droop, it doesn't drop, it just sits nicely in there. So you need to make sure that when you're gluing this piece together, by the way, it's not too tight, so it's not bent inwards and it's not bent outwards. But you'll be able to adjust it if you need to be. So for this side, we've got our plasma weapon. That's going to be the outer side of the weapon this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this arm as a guideline. So for example, if that's the outer side of the weapon on the right hand side, that's going to be the outer side on the left hand side. So I'm going to put a magnet on there like that. We're using this weapon as a guide. Then I'm going to put a dot on this magnet like that. Put my pen away for a second. So as I said, if that was the right hand side, this would be the inner side, but if I move it to this arm, that's going to be the outer side. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get my scalpel blade, I'm just going to take the top magnet off very carefully without breaking the rest of the magnets off the stack. I'm going to put a blob of super glue. Apologies if my hands are shaking all over the place. Put a blob of super glue on there. It's probably a little bit too much. I'm going to wipe a little bit off on some tissue. Just bear with me 1 second. And then I'm going to get my elbow piece. So as you can see, inner and outer. So I know this is the outer piece, and I know that the mark with the pen has got to be on the outside. So I'm just going to put that in there. I'm just going to push down firmly with the blade, holding it in place for a little while, just to give the glue time to dry. And as I said, this is the bit where you just got to make sure you get your polarities correct. So that's why we're using the pen and the Sharpie, just to make sure we've done that right. Hopefully I've not got it wrong, and I'm going to put the weapon in, it's not going to go flying. So if I quickly just move the blade out of the way, what I like to do now is get my trusty brush, something non-metallic, and just push it all the way in until the brush is tapered enough that it's just going to hold that in place. So hopefully, if I've done that correctly and I've given it enough time to dry, we'll just take the magnets off this weapon, put that down for 1 second. Whoops, this is what I'm saying about magnets, you've got to be careful. So we've got our right hand elbow piece, outer and inner, that's the outer side, that goes in nicely. So on this side, inner and outer, that is the outer side, hopefully that should connect to that, and it does. So we know that we've duplicated, I'll move that out of the way, that correctly. So what we need to do now is just repeat the process and do the other side. So I'm going to get the stack of magnets again, and I'm going to put it on the outside of this weapon. Again, I'm going to put a little dot onto the magnet with my Sharpie. Move the brush out of the way. I'm going to get my super glue, put a little drop of super glue on the magnet, make sure it's around the outside of the magnet. That's probably a little bit too much, but it doesn't matter. And then again, I'm going to get the scalpel blade, just cut behind the main magnet, or the top magnet I should say, not the main magnet. We can just put that to one side for now, just push that up, and then again we're going to get our elbow piece, so this time inner, this is going to be an inner side magnet. I'm just going to put that in and just drop it into the hole and hold the blade in place, give it a few seconds. See, there is your danger if you don't hold it in place for long enough. Luckily I've still got my super glue on there and I've still got the dot visible, so I can't, yeah, it's all gone horribly wrong. Take that out. So you've got to be quick. There we go. There you see the dangers of not giving it enough time to dry or not covering that magnet up. So a bit of a it'll be all right on the night mistake there, but hopefully it should stay in place this time. I don't think I put the super glue around the edge enough, so when I take this blade away it might just ping away again. If it does, apologies, I'll have to just reshoot this bit, but hopefully if I'm quick enough, when I take this blade away it's going to stay where it is. Yes, it is. So we'll get our brush, just shove that in there, and that's just going to hold the magnet in place for a little while. So if we just take that magnet off, that means that that weapon is going to fit in there, and it's also going to fit in there, so we need to repeat the same thing for the plasma weapon. So what we'll do is, while we're waiting for that to dry, for the plasma weapon, the way I prepped these was, as you can see on this side, I've just scored the inside a little bit with a file. So if I just grab a file, for example, I've got a small file here, I just given the inside of that hole where we're going to glue the magnet just a bit of a scoring with the magnet, so the super glue's got something to bond to. I do apologise for the randomness of this video. I'd kind of just work these out as I'm going along sometimes, so it might not be the most efficient and most time-saving way to magnetise these weapons, but it does work, and the previous ones that I've done have been quite popular, so if it does help you then great. So I'm just going to give this a little bit of a brush to get that out of there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to magnetise this weapon, making sure again that all the polarities are the same. So the way we're going to work out our polarities for this weapon is using this weapon as a guide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the outside edge of this weapon. So for that one, that was the outside edge on that side, so that's going to be the outside edge on that side. I'm going to put my magnets on there, so I know that where that magnet is connected to this weapon on that side, that is going to be where it needs to glue in to there. So basically I'm just going to take that off, knowing that that between my finger and thumb is where it needs to go. Just to be sure, I'm going to get my pen, put a little dot on there, and then I'm going to get some super glue. I'm going to do this left-handed now, which is a little bit awkward. Pop a little bit of super glue onto the magnet where I want it to go inside the weapon. Put that to one side. Put my magnets down, my super glue down. So that is going to glue into there. I'm just going to hold that in place for a little while. Make sure there's enough pressure just to hold it in. And while that's drying, I'll put the lid back on my super glue. And then I'm just going to get my scalpel blade. I'm just going to cut the magnets there just to get it off. There we go. So that is one side glued in. I'm just going to put that to one side. Again, get something non-metallic like the edge of a brush and just push that magnet down nice and firm, just to make sure the super glue is not biting but bonding, if you like, with the magnet, just to make sure that that is right. So hopefully I've got the polarities the right way around now, and when we remove that brush out of here, move that to one side. So for this side, this is left hand side, we've got inner and outer. I've just put the outer magnet on the plasma weapon. Hopefully, if I've got it right, that should click into place. And it does. So there we go. That's that side magnetized as well. And put that down. That should be the inner side for this side. So we get our elbow piece for this side, inner, click that in, and it's in. So I've got it right. Thank God. So what we need to do now is the last magnet. So we're going to do the outside of this side as a guide, which is going to be the inside of this weapon, because if it was on that side, that would be the outside. Hope that makes sense. So we're going to get our weapon that we've already done, plonk the magnets on. There we go. So that end there where it's connected is where it needs to glue in on that side. So we've got our magnets, we know that that's right. So I'm going to break the magnets away, get our pen, put a little dot, the trusty dot with the trusty Sharpie. Put that down. We're going to get our super glue, and hopefully for the last time, oh, there's a bit too much there. There you go, the perils of live video. We'll just wipe a bit of that off on some tissue. So we've got some super glue on there, probably not enough now, but we shall see. And then we're going to just push that into this weapon, nice and firm. Hopefully give the super glue a chance to bond. Sorry if you can't see that on the camera. Holding it in place. As I said, sometimes you know, it might not go right for the first time. You might end up breaking the magnet away too soon. Luckily I've got away with that there. We're going to get our trusty brush again, something non-metallic, just push down nice and firm, give that super glue a chance to bond to your magnet, and also just make sure that the magnet is a nice flush fit in there, which it looks like it is. You can sort of just about see it, but shouldn't be too much of a problem. And that is both weapons magnetized, and they should hopefully both be interchangeable. So we've got our right arm, if you like, outer and inner, disintegration weapon, clicks in, no problem. Put that back, outer and inner right arm, plasma weapon, clicks in, no problem. There we go. And then it should work this way around as well. So this time inner and outer, click, we're done. And then again. And that is how you magnetize the weapons on the Saturnine Dreadnought, making sure that they're interchangeable so you can move them around and have them on whatever side you want them on. Like for example, I've got this model so it is the right hand weapon with that bar there and the little fuel nodule or whatever it is, but doesn't matter, you can swap them around. So for example, when I get the new sprue with the other weapons on it, if I wanted that on the left arm I can do, or I can move it to the right arm. So that is it. That is how you magnetize the Saturnine Dreadnought. I hope you found this video useful. If you have found it useful, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up. I know it was a bit of a long video and a bit of trial and error, just like the last one, but as I said, if you found it useful, please give it a like. Let me know you've enjoyed it. I do like making these hobby videos, and I'm going to do a lot more actually. And if you didn't like the video, rather than give it a thumbs down, just leave me a comment, let me know what you didn't like, because at the end of the day that will help me make better videos going forward. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing, because that really does help me out. About 95% of my viewers are not actual subscribers to the channel, which is quite common on YouTube these days. And not only that, YouTube is making it very difficult to get an audience for videos. I don't know what's going on at the moment. So please do consider subscribing, because it really does help me out. It helps get my videos out there. All you've got to do is hit the subscribe button. You don't have to press the bell notification, so you're not going to get spam with notifications if you don't want to, but just hitting that subscribe button really will help my channel massively. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching. If you're still here, thank you for sticking with me so far. I'm going to do some more hobby videos. I'm probably going to do one on how to magnetize the Saturnine Terminator arms if you've not already built yours. They are a fun build, and that's putting it mildly. So I'm probably going to do one of those, and I am going to do some more hobby videos in general because I do enjoy them. So anyway, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. As always, it's massively appreciated, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.